What's good, everyone? This is Artist of Truth coming to you with another vlog entry on this wonderful, magnificent day. I am, as you know, Artist of Truth, and I'm a little hoarse right now, but it's all good. It's not going to stop me from speaking on the necessary issues that need to be addressed and shedding a little more insight about certain cases, situations that are unfolding, especially as it pertains to melanated people, or should I say, or should I call them black people? Which honestly, I'm, with my studies, I am getting away from addressing my melanated people, um, indigenous people as black or African Americans or colored people, because a lot of times we just, let's be honest, we don't know our cultures and our roots, because those things have always been stripped from us, in any sense. But let's go ahead and get right into the topic that I wanted to touch on again, and this is concerning um, Tammy Kemp. All right, as you know, Tammy Kemp is was the judge that was presiding over the case with our uh, brother Gene, who was gunned down in his apartment by an off-duty rogue racist cop that she actually got into the courtroom, started shedding all these crocodile tears, asking for forgiveness. Uh, brother Gene's brother Grant Jean decided to run over and embrace her and hug her and forgive her and all this other and all of this other house nigga field nigga bullshit. But moreover, the judge herself, even though she said, the case was already, judgment was already passed and her work was already done, um, the interview that she was involved with Roland Martin. Uh, of course, you all know Roland Martin. He's part of the Boule, and I've heard a plethora of uh, black individuals who are part of the Boule, and they know certain things, and they're just not. To me, they're not being forthcoming with the information that they have in order to set black people free. So, in any case, I watched the interview with Roland Martin and some of his constituents on the panel, and two of his constituents, uh, one sister in particular that I must I bow my head and I give great honor to, is Sister Julian Duveau, um, former graduate of Benedict College. And most definitely, I have some questions for her about the most recent appearance in the award given to Dick Trump, the president of this government corporation that we are currently under. But in any case, I listened to the interview and I listened to so many excuses that Kemp was given, to which, you know, I'm just gonna be honest. A lot of her reasoning, was full of, was just full of it. She was called a coon, in which she is, because in the wake of so much travesty that comes, that black people are faced with, okay? That indigenous people, melanated people are faced with. You dare to hug the murderer of one of your, of one of your kings, you know, one of your brothers. You dare to go and hug this murderer. And her excuse was, well, I am a Christian woman, and so forth, so forth, which furthermore to me it solidifies the house nigga mentality, that you are a great coward, that you do not want to hold one of the Neanderthals accountable to their terroristic behaviors. Now, I listened to the interview, and, just to gain a little more insight and understanding. And all I got from the interview, honestly, is excuses. When our sister Julian DeVoe questioned her about the judgment, and does she feel that 10 years was sufficient, the judges, Kemp's reply, Tammy's reply was very, very dodging. She made the statement that she would not she would not go against or mingle in the jurors' decision in the judgment. But then when she was presented with the question that if she was in a position to charge this Neanderthal in murdering a king, a brother, she still avoided the question, by saying, I'm not going to answer that question because the case may easily reappear in my courtroom. All the message that I conveyed from that statement was basically she didn't want to have anything else to do with the case. Not only that, she was afraid to answer the question truthfully and without fear. Now, mind you, excuse me. Now, mind you, Tammy is working for the system that is really operated by what is it called? The good old boy system. So I understand her level of fear. You understand? Some people you can tell when a man or a woman possesses no fear, and they're willing to say whatever needs to be said to express their own personal beliefs and truths. They're not going to allow someone else to just mute them and threaten them into saying certain things and not saying certain things. So, in the interview, it was very, very, it was many, many excuses. Roland Martin went forward to even, trying to dissect aspects of the law and saying that a lot of the comments were ridiculous and stupid because people just don't know the law. And I agree with Martin to a certain extent there are a lot of people who don't know about the law, and honestly should make it a necessity to understand and know how the law operates. Now, in any sense, as Roland had stated, a lot of the comments were asinine, and it was just ridiculous to him. But what Roland Martin fails to understand is this shit isn't new. This same type of action has been going on for years. You know, um, Niggas will sell out their own people. You know, niggas sold out. You know, niggas sold out Malcolm X. Niggas sold out Dr. King for some Federal Reserve notes that have no value. And the sad part about it is a lot of these Neanderthals know that these Federal Reserve notes have no value. So it's like you're putting energy and value into something that honestly doesn't doesn't even have value. It's nothing more than monopoly money. So, I look at things like that. You know, Roland Martin himself, I'm pretty sure I even left a comment on one of his videos, and I was like, uh, admiralty law and common law. If you don't know anything about those laws, you, instead of saying that people don't know, how about you make the initiative to put a webinar together to enlighten them about the law, the ins and outs of the law, the loopholes of the law. You know, we get up here and we do a whole lot of talking about other people not knowing the law, but we fail as men, we fail to educate our people, those who are willing to listen and study and do the necessary research to enlighten them about law. So when they happen to walk into the courtroom, they know how to conduct themselves to an extent where they wouldn't need an attorney or what is it called, a public defender. They would need those, because a lot of these public defenders do not work out in the behalf of in our behalf anyway. They're just bootlickers to the judicial system anyway. So they're looking for a come up. They're looking for payment, from these courts. But moreover, I listened to the interview. The interview was sad. Roland Martin had a brother on his platform that was he was talking about God this and God that, and whatnot. And to me personally, he was moreover just another Christian bootlicker, if you ask me. And I know a lot of people probably feel like, why do I have such animosity towards black Christians? It's like, well, black Christians uh have gotten to the extent where they just accept any old thing, and then just their rebuttal, instead of reacting, is I forgive you. We are, as it pertains to black Christians, we are willing to forgive everyone else, even when we know deep down inside in our gut that they are wrong for what they've done to us and still doing to us. We still continue to turn the other cheek and forgive and forgive. And because we are following a a man written, uh, a Neanderthal written, or should I say copied version of what the word really is. And most black Christians do not put the necessary energy into reading or researching. You know, not only that, there are so many contradictions in this Bible that is just ridiculous. But not to get off topic, you know, I listened to this I don't know what to call him. I'm just trying to be nice right now. But his response about forgiveness and whatnot beneath was just beneath me, you know. And I just looked at him and was like, you know what, I can't look at a man, at a male like that and say, oh, he's a man. I was like, I can't respect an individual who I can't respect a male who calls himself a black man. I can't respect the individual who refuses to have a backbone of his own because he doesn't know or recognize his own power. I can't. So, that's your typical good old good old house nigga that's just saying whatever is needed to be said in order to in order to please the masses, in order to please his master, because you already know he has someone that he has to answer to and tap dance for and buff his shoes. So of course that's just it. But the overall, like I said, that interview didn't shed any more, it didn't change my perception or my view of Tammy. It just solidified my thoughts and about her as an individual, as as an alleged black woman, Christian, black Christian, whatever she calls herself. Because she even stated for herself, from her own words, she stated that she'll go and she'll hug and console the victims, but she has never ever in her courtroom consoled one who was on her, on his or her way to prison for killing someone. She never did that. But for some reason she felt compelled because the brother, with his gullible, with his well-conditioned gullible ass, he took himself over there and asked, could he hug the woman? And I'm thinking to myself, why would you want to have, why would you be so quick to forgiving a Neanderthal who took the life of your brother, knowing that we've we have existed and we were born into this government corporation that takes the lives of melanated people at will with no accountability, no real repercussions, and there has yet to be any sort of reparations given to melanated people whatsoever. But yet and still, you want to run over here and hug a woman. You know what? I believe in I believe in an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. So what you do to what you do to others, I feel personally you should get that back. So if you take someone's life, someone should take yours. And I believe that would eliminate a whole lot of unnecessary killings, you know. But some people feel, I feel that that's why Christianity was presented. It was created and spread upon the minds of, our elders and melanated people Because if you don't know where you came from, you don't know what your cultures and traditions and practices are, then you are at a point where you are desperate to cling to something, just to say I am a part of this, I am a part of that. Because when you don't know where you are from and where your roots lay, then it's like a leaf from a tree. You know, once you have been snipped from where you originated from, you are a leaf on the ground now. So you're just going along with the flow of the wind. Wherever it takes you, that's where you'll go. That's where you will lay. That's where you will die at. That's where you would just disintegrate right back into the ground, because you don't know. So, me personally, the comments were just sad, very, very sad. Um, hopefully we, hopefully we will be able to go. Um, the necessary justice will be done, because I honestly believe that this situation isn't over. Because first and foremost, even though the father and the brother were so adamant about forgiving, I did not hear the mother forgive at all. She didn't even come out of her mouth and say, you know what, I forgive her. It was like, that should tell a lot of people something right there. But in any case, you get the chance, go over to Roland Martin's YouTube page, listen to the interview, and give me your thoughts and let me know what you think. So in the meantime, in between time, your joy and happiness belongs solely unto you. No one can take away your joy and happiness unless you give it to them. You have the power to keep and to give away. So, you know what? There was one more thing that I was meaning to address, was the bailiff. So the bailiff, because Tammy's excuse for the bailiff raking the Neanderthal's hair was she was performing a pat down and search to see to it that she doesn't bring in any contraband or any sort of drugs into the jail. So that is the reason why the bailiff came over, raking her hair and straightening her hair. And when she addressed the bailiff about the incident, she was like, well, I'm not worried about that. I'm just doing my job. It's like, well, I'm pretty sure your job requires you to pat down, to physically pat down. Now, if anyone actually saw the video for themselves, and you see where this woman, this black female, I'm not even going to call her a woman, because I'm just like, ain't no way in God's, ain't no way in on this earth you could tell me this woman, this female was patting this Neanderthal down to see if she had any sort of contrabands on her. It's like, that wasn't a pat. That was what hairstylists do to their clients. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen that shit before. So, Tammy, your excuse for the bailiff's behavior, and the bailiff response was, I was just doing my job. I don't care what anyone else says. I was just doing my job. I was like, that was not in your job requisite. I was like, because if that was the case, why didn't the bitch stand up in the courtroom? Why didn't you pat her down from the top of her head to the bottom of her V? But see, that's the thing. That's the weak, watered down excuse that Tammy gave to everyone. So it's like if you're not thinking for yourself and you're not trusting your own eye, these individuals will shoot you to shit all day because they know, oh, okay, well, I'll just tell them this, they'll believe it. That's the reason. I was like, look, Tammy, that bullshit did not fly. And you know that bullshit didn't fly at all. Because that bailiff, even though you're saying she was doing her job, no, she was doing some real mammy shit. She was doing some mammy shit. You know she was doing some mammy shit. The bailiff herself, she knows she was doing some old mammy dog shit. I'm like, what you was searching for? That is why they have a holding cell in the back of the court. So you can do all of this searching and patting down as this bailiff allegedly stated that she was doing. As I stated before, don't let these fools spread no peanut butter of bullshit across your brain, leading you into thinking or believing that, hey, what they were doing was not out of pocket. You know, her job consisted of standing there and seeing to it that the killer doesn't up and run, or there doesn't, it's no fights that break out. Everything such as pat down and checking someone's hair, all of that can be done in the back of the court in a holding cell. Anyone who works in the court can tell you that. Never have you seen or witnessed anyone being pat down or hair raked inside of the courtroom. Never. So all of a sudden, this mammy ass nigga deciding she want to come around there and do that shit. Boy, I would love to get her name. Because that's some old mammy shit. And I'm pretty damn sure if one of these Neanderthals decide to put his foot or her foot in her ass, guess what she's going to do? She's not going to have a backbone. She's just going to bend over and take it, just like a lot of mammy acting, coon acting folks, because they are fearful. At some point in your life, you got to grow out of it and stand up for your own. Malcolm X didn't, he didn't die in vain. He was like, hey, I'm by any means necessary. Know what your rights are. And your rights that you have are natural rights. It's not a privilege. And you don't have to pay for them. So know what your rights are. Exercise your rights when when you learn them. And if you need help, the only thing you have to do is ask. Feel free to leave me a comment below. And I will see to it that the right information is provided to help you, to keep you out of the courts, the jurisdictions of the courts, and to protect you so that you will have your natural rights, not someone else's rights that you have to, rights and privileges that you have to pay for. In the meantime, in between time, love each other and protect each other.